Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. Our guests this week are track and field coach Nate Hoey and men's swimming captain Nick Talluri. But first, here's a look back at last weekend in Washington sports. The men's and women's swimming teams garnered victories over Catholic and Marymount in Washington on Saturday. On the women's side, senior Sarah Simpson touched first in the 100 and 200 freestyle events and swam the anchor leg on the winning 200 medley relay team. For her efforts, Simpson was named ODAC Swimmer of the Week. The men were led by senior N. Childers and sophomore Chris Washnock, who each won a pair of individual events and competed on a winning relay team. Our guest today, Nick Talluri, took first in the 50 and 100 freestyle. In wrestling, Washington and Lee dropped Centennial Conference matches to McDaniel, Stevens, and the Merchant Marine Academy at the McDaniel Quad on Sunday. Sophomores Sam Campbell and David Dennis both went 3-0 on the day. The women's basketball team won for the 6th time in its last 7 games, taking a 55-45 decision at Emory and Henry. Sophomore Becca Bolton and junior Felice Herman each notched double-doubles as the Generals improved to 7-4 in the conference. In men's hoops, W&L fell 73-66 at ODAC rival Hampton-Sydney. Senior Zach White scored 15 points and classmate Ben Getch added 14, but it wasn't enough for the Generals to overcome 21 turnovers as they fell to 2-5 in league play. And in track and field, Washington and Lee returned to action with the Orange and Maroon Classic at Susquehanna. For the men's team, sophomore Tyler Grant finished in the top 10 in the 400 meters in the high jump and ran on the 4x400 relay team that placed third. First-year Lauren Schultz led the women with top 10 finishes in the 5,000 meters in the mile. With me now is the head coach of the men's and women's track and field teams, Nate Hoey. Nate, welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
What did you find out about your team at Susquehanna this weekend?
Well, first, it's a very competitive group. They really want to do well this year. And then also, we need to do a little bit better job of replicating our technical models in a meet setting. We're doing it very well in practice, even in warm-ups, but once that spotlight comes on and you're in the show at the meet, we need to do a little bit better job at replicating that. When we do that, and then the training comes in together, they're going to be in really good shape.
Does last year's ODAC Indoor Championship for the women still resonate with that team?
It does. The people who are on the team this year that were here last year, they certainly talk about that a lot. It gives them a sense of confidence, especially knowing how close that meet was last year. And we knew going into the meet it was going to be really close. And to face the challenges that they did during the meet and come out on top, it certainly gave them a lot of confidence, a sense of pride, and they want to be able to continue to do that and always be in the mix.
Where is the men's team at this stage of the season?
The guys are doing really well. We're very excited about the guys. The expectations on the men's team have steadily risen over the past few years. So they did a good job early on here this past Saturday, and it's going to be a well-rounded team, so we're looking forward to what they're going to be able to do.
What kind of expectations do you have for the ODAC at the Indoor Championship in February?
Well, our expectations this year are the same as they are every year. Our goal is to put ourselves in a position to compete for the conference championship. The conference is very competitive. A lot of the teams in the conference are competitive nationally, so our goal is the same. We want to put ourselves in a position to compete for those titles.
Well, Nate, thank you for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
With me now is Nick Talluri, senior swimming captain from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
The Generals have won all 3 of their meets in the 2010 portion of the schedule very handily. What does that say to you about your team's focus coming into the new year?
Well, we've carried a great focus in the 2010 portion of our season, and I feel like we've been able to step up and compete at our highest level. But one thing that may not be readily apparent is that we've also carried that focus in practice, and people have just been doing things that are pretty spectacular and things that we really haven't done before. So I think it says a lot.
What does it mean to you to be a Washington and Lee student athlete?
It's hard to convey how much it does mean to me. I've had such a positive experience with the men's swim team. Having that support, all those friends and everything, is truly something that I treasure. Also, I really enjoy the opportunity to represent my school outside of the academic and social realms. So I feel like it's something that not many college kids get to experience.
Johns Hopkins is ranked just ahead of the Generals right now in the latest Division III poll. They're also Bluegrass Mountain Conference rivals starting this season. How significant is this Saturday's meet?
It's about as significant as they get for the dual season meet, or dual meet season rather. As you said, they're very close to us. They're a very similar program. They're at their same point in the taper season. So I feel like this is going to give us a good preview of what to expect at our conference meet. and also how to approach such tough situations. So we're really looking forward to it.
In terms of specifics, how will that meet prepare you for the conference championship?
Well, we don't really get the chance to swim a whole lot of teams that are in our conference since we swim in a primarily Division II conference in Charlotte. However, we do get these few chances in the season to swim conference teams, and Johns Hopkins, being one of the better ones, is really going to give us an opportunity to step up energy-wise and performance-wise and see what we can do at this point in the season.
Well, Nick, thank you for joining us. Best of luck against the Blue Jays on Saturday.
All right, thank you.
The women's basketball team returns home to battle ODAC-foe Guilford at 7 p.m. on Friday. You can catch the game live on WLUR and B2. Men's and women's swimming will face Johns Hopkins on Saturday, and the wrestling team also takes on the Blue Jays at home. The men's and women's track and field teams will compete at the Liberty Open on Saturday, while men's basketball also heads to Lynchburg for an ODAC matchup against Randolph College. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.